Today, we are going to write a color poem. A color poem is an imaginative, free verse poem that describes how a color looks, what it might sound like, and the emotions related to the color, and so forth. Do you see the picture on the left of the color poetry palette? Right here. Do you see that? Do you know what it is? And do you know what it's used for? Well, it is called a paint palette. Artists add blobs of paint colors to a palette, and they use a paintbrush to mix colors as they work. Poets are much like artists, but they use different tools. Instead of using paintbrushes to create images that can be seen with our eyes, poets use pencils, computers, or iPads to create images that we can see in our minds. We could say, writing poetry is like painting with words. Look at all the pictures of the brown items. They are all different shades of brown. How would we describe brown? Would we say these are all just brown? No, we wouldn't. They are all different shades of brown, and each variation of brown has its own special color name. Check out all the different shades of brown. Each color has a different name. If you Google the term shades of, and you pick your color, you will be amazed at the variations that you will find. Now let's take a look at our graphic organizer. I want you to imagine what the color brown would smell like if you smelled it. What does the color brown sound like? What would the color brown feel like? You are going to take this graphic organizer and you are going to write in each box what the color reminds you of. You may come up with all different things that it smells like or sounds like, and you can write your phrases in the box. When you write your responses, make sure that you are writing in complete sentences and use very descriptive words. When you use very specific words and details to the phrases, you are going to create a word picture with strong images that the reader can see in their head. For example, here is the graphic organizer that's filled out with different examples. I have my shades of color, what I think color brown smells like, maybe hot chocolate, a wonderful aroma, strong like coffee, sounds like quiet, whispering wind blowing, or maybe crunchy like leaves. I think it would feel smooth and creamy, or maybe grainy like sand, or rough like a tree bark. I think it tastes sweet and delicious, rich and chocolatey. Actions and events. A hug from Mom, or maybe muddy water flowing in a fast river, or it reminds me of walking in the woods. How do I feel? Calm, restful, comfortable. What are some objects and places? Stones on a beach. My favorite sweater is brown. Or a pile of fall leaves. Once you fill out your graphic organizer with all these different examples, you'll take your pen or your marker on Seesaw and you are going to put a star next to the ones that that stand out the most to you. How about that? Pick the one that you like as your favorite and put a little mark next to it. Again, use very specific words and details to the phrases to create that word picture with strong images. The last phase, once your graphic organizer is complete, you're going to write each phrase on either lined paper in your notebook, or you're going to type it on the blank Seesaw page. You want to make sure that your poem has a title. And each phrase, okay, brown looks like, I'm going to go back here. Brown looks like, okay, right here. What does it look like? Is going to be my first stanza, okay? So each phrase from your graphic organizer, smells like, sounds like, objects. Oh, here's my one that looks like a sweater. You can put these in any order that you want to as you are writing. And notice that I start off with brown looks like, just like it is from my graphic organizer. And you're going to start it off with brown feels like, brown tastes like for each of your phrase. And each stanza is going to be separated by a line. Okay, an empty line, so you'll want to skip a space. When you are done, don't forget to write your name because you are the author of the poem. Okay, so here's how my poem sounds like. Brown. Brown looks like my favorite sweater, the one I wear on cool fall days. Brown smells like warm chocolate chip cookies fresh from the oven. It tastes rich and chocolatey, oozing over my fingers and into my mouth, hot from the pan. Brown sounds like wind whispering through the trees in autumn, and the dry leaves crunching under my feet. Brown is the smooth stone I found near the lake, the one that skipped 5 times over the water before sinking out of sight. Brown feels like a warm hug on a cold day. When you are done, you are going to post your poem on Seesaw. And oh, when you're done typing or writing out your poem, if you want to add images to your poem, okay, or the color you chose to write about, you can decorate that page however you would like to decorate your poem. And then click and submit it to Mrs. Pluta.